think I have a pretty good idea how to expose a boyfriend, but let's Google just to find out. Go for the jugular every time. Oh my goodness, that's so dangerous. Okay, let's get started. First, we need a floor to climb. Oh my goodness, I feel so evil already. Okay, now you have to hold your throat and pretend to cry. Oh my god, I look so different.
All that matters is that if I saw myself dressed like this in public when I was like 13, I would have been like, God damn, that bitch is cool.
Like, oh, Trisha does this for attention. Ethan posted it. Clearly he wasn't that offended about the whole thing if he posted it for monetary gain. Right? Thank you. Hope we can all agree on that.
Okay, so I can't duet or stitch this girl, but she did a really nice thing on borderlines. I don't blame my mental health or my mental illness for this. I do try to explain it, but I do take accountability. I am self-aware. She talks about how that's a huge thing with borderlines, is just trying to be self-aware. She also talks about how to deal with someone with borderline. I am in no way trying to shift blame or be the victim of this at all, but I really, really encourage you to just check out her stories. If you're someone with BPT, it just feels really good to hear someone else totally get what you're going through, so just check her out. Just like recently, I talked about in my video this morning that I've been hearing voices in my head for the past year, and that's new and it's scary, and I can't control these voices in my head. They just appear. It's the same way I actually just can't control. I just can't control myself and what happens when I'm spewing. And she shared a story, Brad's Mitzvah shared a story that resonated so close to me, and how her boyfriend deals with her borderline episodes. And that's, he just disengages, and that's what I'm currently dealing with. My boyfriend will disengage, and it works, and I'm sorry he has to put up with that, but that's the truth. And if it's not healthy for someone to be around me, including the podcast, then I encourage people to do what's best for them and to not associate with me.
It gets into your brain and paralyzes it and poisons it. Your reaction is not you. It's the sick part of your brain. And that's what people don't like, because it's not palatable. That's why people don't advocate for people with BPD, because it's not pretty. It's violent and it's messy and it hurts the people around you. So if you're a mental health advocate...
Again, I encourage you to go about her story. To look at her story about her. She's been in therapy for 15 years with borderline, and I've only been consistently going for a year, and then I kind of stopped for a few months this year, and she still struggles with it, and it's just kind of nice. Again, this is for people with borderline. I'm not trying to be victim. I'm not trying to make this about the H3 frenemies or Moses or anybody. It's about people with borderline. I think it's really important to hear this girl to find at least some comfort, because I feel like no one gets it, and she gets it. Ultimately, it is up to me and how I handle myself when I start feeling I'm about to go to that place. That's not in my control, and I work on that, and I should have left the situation a lot earlier than I did. I thought I could handle it, and I thought I could show my growth, and by trying to have a healthy debate, and it just got worse and progressively worse, and it's embarrassing. And I was okay with putting it up on the podcast, because I do believe it's important to show the realities that is my somewhat of a hell living with borderline, and only recently discovering that I have borderline, because so many years I was misdiagnosed as bipolar, and I was on bipolar medications that actually chemically wired me wrong, and then I became suicidal, which wasn't me either, because I didn't want to end my life. Again, I am in no way trying to be, oh my God, poor me, give me sympathy. It's something that's out of my control. It's what my therapist tells me. But, sometimes you hear so many comments about just how horrible I am and this evil person. I'm not an evil person, but I get it. And I get why people are uncomfortable with me or don't want me in their lives. And that's why I have talks constantly with my boyfriend now, that if he chooses not to be with me, I do understand, because I don't even want to be with myself half the time. So, yeah. I just really appreciated this girl's TikTok. Just sharing her story, not even in defense of me. I don't need people to defend me, and there's really nothing to defend me for other than, like, everybody is a mental health advocate until it's too much, it's too far. Bottom line is, like, it's not funny to me. I just believe in talking about it and showing it, and then, like, I guess once I show it, then it just allows more people to say what Ela and Ethan said on their live today, which is, oh, well, everyone warned us about her, like, this happens with all her relationships, and now we're seeing it, and, like, that's even more triggering, because this girl pointed out in her TikToks, it's a sense of abandonment, whether it's in my head or not. I'm like, wow, they're just like everyone else, and that's the trigger that, like, spirals me, and it's not their fault. Like, I get it. It's hard for me to even deal with and understand and comprehend, because I hate myself for not being able to control it. It's really bad. Just like the voices in my head are really bad. And how do you end that? How do you end it? How do you end voices in your head? How do you end the spiral of not being able to control yourself? I'll tell you what, being admitted to mental hospitals don't work. They treat you like animals. They do not care about helping you cope with what you have, because as she pointed out, and so many people point out about BPTs, there's no medications, there's no treatment, there's only ways of dealing with it and recognizing triggers, and mental hospitals will give you pills that are not even for your mental illness. They just make you take pills, and you have to take them. And there's no windows, and they punish you by not giving you outside time. If you're new there, you don't even get to eat lunch out in the cafeteria. They bring it to you. My family witnessed this when they had dinners with me at the mental hospital. End of the day, like, this girl kind of, like, saved me today, because my mom called me, of course, and we talked, but I really was just like, wow, like, this is a pattern that I can't control, and it's just perpetuating further that I'm crazy, and that, yes, everyone told Ela and Ethan, like, this is what happens with all relationships, and now they're seeing it firsthand, and that's just the MO of my life. And I really was just like, how do I make this stop when I can't control it? There's only one way that voices stop in your head. And there's no magic pill that's going to do it.